In Israel, you pretty much when you're 18, it's like regular, you go to school, and then when you're 18, you have to go to the army. Everyone has to go. Um, Men for 3 years, women for 2 years. Yeah, growing up in Israel, there's always like war going on. There's always like we weren't allowed as kids to go to see movies because it's like there's suicide bombers and stuff. Yeah, there's all kinds of that kind of stuff going on.
Yo, got my boy Eitan Kenner
Yo,
in the
yo,
building. How you doing, bro?
what's up? What's up? Doing good. I'm excited.
That's
Very
dope.
excited. Yeah,
So, where are you from? Tell them where you're from. Like, where were you born?
sure. Tel Aviv, Israel, born in 91, and yeah, moved to the US in 2010.
So, what was it like living in Israel? And to what age? So, to what age did you move? What age did you move to?
I moved when I was 19.
Okay.
Um, in Israel, you pretty much when you're 18, it's like regular, you go to school, and then when you're 18, you have to go to the army.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone has to go. Men for 3 years, women for 2 years. So I just skipped the army
And
because I
just
didn't want to really be part of the whole thing.
for sure, yeah.
Which people look at you a little weird when you do that, but I just
Mhm.
knew I needed something better for myself than be part of, war.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Um, yeah, growing up in Israel, there's always like war going on. There's always like we weren't allowed as kids to go to see movies because it's like there's suicide bombers and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of that kind of stuff going on.
So, what do you kind of take from that experience? Like what do you bring, what do you gained from that growing up there? Like in general, like something that you've gained from living in Israel and even going back now you go back here and there, like what have you gained from that?
Gained. Well, one thing for sure I gained is a whole nother life experience.
Mhm.
So when I'm here in the US, in New York, I feel like I can live almost like double lives. It's like everything I'm experiencing, I'm seeing it through the lens of, somebody speaking a different language, thinking in a different language,
Mhm.
um, different sets of values. The culture is so different. Literally, the food you eat, the way people interact with each other. So it just affects your whole life view. And yeah, I feel like that's what I gained. Just like having a different perspective, which sometimes is very confusing, but other times it feels like a good thing.
So, I want to ask you now, I guess, since we're on the topic, how are you feeling about right now about the state of Israel? Like what's going through your mind as far as what's happening there? Like what do you know about it? Have you been following it like a lot? Have you been kind of like, I don't know. Like what are your thoughts and views on currently on Israel right now?
Yeah, my thoughts and views, they haven't changed much since I was brought up there. Um, the situation hasn't really changed. The war that's going on right now is just another variation of the same thing that's been going on for 60, 70 years.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so, growing up, Israel, it's such a long thing, and there's so many ways to think about it, but the shortest way that I could put it is there is a situation where there's one government Israel, and
Mhm.
then there's two peoples. There's Jews and there's Arabs, and then I'm going to put it in the most simplistic
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah, bro. Do you?
The government in charge is separating the people and kind of brainwashing them to hate each other, and also the Jews get to have um, better rights, better opportunities for different things, while the other group, the Arabs, they are super divided because some of them live in the Israeli territory and some of them live in
Mhm.
another territory called Palestine. Originally, it was all just one big territory, but then um, the Brits gave it to the Jews. It's more complicated than that, but that's, I guess, the simple way of putting it. And then since then, the Jews in charge want to keep the war going and the occupation of the other territories going, and the people on the other side, their leaders also want to keep the thing going because that's what leaders do. A lot of times, they just want to keep the war going and people divided, and then that's how they stay in charge, and it's easier to control people. So, growing up, the simple way of looking at it for me and my family was like, yeah, we don't support what the Israeli government is doing to the Palestinian people.
Mhm.
Um, they should be free um, from the occupation and from war and just be able to live peacefully. Um, but then it's so complicated because it's like growing up, I was on the Israeli side. So there's like, suicide bombers, attacks
Yeah, yeah.
from um, Palestinians that hate Jews, and their only way of fighting or the only way of freeing themselves is like by just shooting up a bunch of random people. And then, Israelis have to go to the army, so um, that's all they know because that's what their government is telling them to do. So then, and then I have soldiers in my family who died, and people in my family that died protecting their country. So it's a big mess of people dying and thinking that they're fighting for a good cause, and sometimes hating on another group of people. Other times they don't hate the group, but they still do whatever they think is the right thing to do. Um, and yeah, so growing up, I was pretty much like considered a traitor because I didn't go to the army and I was in support of, I guess, peace, which is not what the government wants, or I don't know. Some of the governments say they do, but it's too complicated.
Yeah.
But my views haven't changed. That's the thing. The only thing that's changed um, is that it used to be easier to just be supportive of just one side, and now it's easier for me to see that I can't just be supporting one side because it's too complicated. So I'm pretty much staying away from what's going on, um, because I also know that people's opinions are just influenced by propaganda and whatever the
Mhm.
governments want them to know. And there's so many lies being told, and yeah, so I just try to lead a peaceful life where I am and just try to be a good person and not be involved. And that's why one of the reasons why I left is like I don't want to be in a place that, for lack of a better term, is toxic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think your perspective is honest. You know, I think it's honest. Many people wouldn't break it down that way and say it like that, but I think how you're saying it and how you're explaining it is very true. It's very honest. You have your information and you know what you're talking about. And I think, it's definitely a tough thing in general, overall, whether what side you're on, no matter what who it is, it's gonna be a tough thing to go through to see. Even me, I don't know much about all of it, but just seeing it, it just like again, I'm a man of peace, yo. Like just be peaceful, like And I guess that's not always the case in life in general, whether it's here or anywhere. But
It's
yeah,
not,
man.
and I know the way that I'm saying
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
also, I would say, a little bit naive, but I just can't find another way. And I know that, if family members of mine, some of them would listen to what I'm saying, it would piss them off. But there's
Wait, so
no,
why would it piss them off? Why would it piss them off?
because they would say it's too simplistic to just say, it's like a cop out in a way. I'm saying like, oh yeah, I just
Yeah.
want
Okay.
peace. I don't want to be involved with this.
But that's
Um,
but I'm honestly, in my opinion, I feel like life should be simple. Like I think in my when God made the earth and He did certain things, like He made it's life is simple, man. Simplicity is should be like the goal. Like I don't think we should make things complicated. Like who wants to have live life always complex? The things are complex for sure. That happens. Life is not gonna always be super super like with the grain all the time, and that's why you have things go on and things happen. But I think the goal of life is to keep things simple. You know what I'm saying? Like how can we like the goal of what we do in whether it's life or our careers or what we do even in music or anything, we try to break things down. Like how can we make the most sense out of this and break it down to where its simplest form? Like that's I think a very good goal when it comes to life. How do we make this simpler than it is? So I mean, like I don't have all the information. I don't have an opinion about it, but I just think I do agree with you where as far as like, finding peace and it being simple should be a goal because simple takes some of the problems out of it super quickly if you just make things simple. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
I agree that that's what we should aspire for. And
Hmm.
I can find other areas in life where, let's say, when it comes to playing music, which is it happens to be my expertise, it's like you learn so many different details and different things, and you learn how to divide things and put them in categories and
Hmm.
give them names or whatever. But then at the end of the day, you're supposed to let go of everything, and you can't possibly perform music if you are overthinking it or if you're concerned with too many details. So you need to let go of it and keep it simple. And that's the way that you play music, um, to the best ability. I'm actually reading a book now about our brain,
Hmm.
and there's something to be said about how the function of the brain is to kind of, we find ways to make things complex so we can then understand them better and then integrate them back into being simple,
Yeah,
something
it's
like that.
weird. It's weird. Yeah. So where are you now? Tell them where you're at now. Like where are you setting up shop right now in your life?
In my life, um,
Like where do you live? Like like what do you like? What's going on right now?
as of now, I'm living in New York City.
Hmm.
Um, I've been here for about 10 years.
Jesus, a long time. Man,
Long
no,
time.
longer than that. You said you came in 2010, right? 2010 you came in?
2010, I went to college in Boston first.
So that's 14 years you've been here then. I mean, been in the United States.
Uh, in the States, yeah, I came August 2010,
Okay, yeah. So,
and I
but
moved to New York in 2013.
okay. Oh, yeah. So, yeah,
So
10 years. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
11. Yeah,
Yeah,
11.
11. Yeah. So,
Um,
mhm,
yeah, where I'm at is, I think that my purpose in life is, well, there's a few things that I do. I really love music,
mhm.
and I love to share it with different people. I love to teach what I learn. And so I've been doing that in New York, both performing music and teaching it. And just my life story in very broad terms is that I used to struggle a lot with performance, and then I learned to make it kind of like what I was saying, integrating everything into something more simple from something complex. Um,
Mhm.
and then I'm good at explaining that to people who are struggling with that sort of thing. So I've been teaching and I've been performing, and I'm making my own music, recording my own music, and possibly moving to LA very soon.
So, what is your favorite thing about living in New York? Favorite thing, like how is the New York life for you?
Um, okay, my favorite thing is probably just the multicultural
Mm,
experience.
yeah.
It's like a big old um, swamp of so many different people, different characters, and to me, that's just fascinating. So just meeting a whole bunch of different people and talking to them is probably my favorite thing about New York. Sharing information with different people that have different perspectives. And turns out, I mean, I would have never thought that that would be like in my path,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
um, finding your church is actually one of my favorite things
Wow.
that I've had in New York. Like now, as I'm thinking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
leaving, and I am leaving. Like
Yeah.
I'm done. I just haven't figured out the logistics, but
Yeah.
yeah. So when I look back at the last 10 years, it's probably one of them. Definitely the most significant things that I had was, yeah, meeting your family and
Yeah,
joining your
man.
church. That really changed everything for me
Wow.
in so many ways, and it helped kind of make a lot of things click
Mhm.
musically, spiritually, mentally. Um, yeah, in so many ways. So that's one of my favorite things in New York for sure. Like if I look at my whole life story and then like what's the most significant thing in New York? Yeah, I got to meet some of my heroes like in music,
Yeah, yeah.
play some gigs, but then like the church is actually huge. It's pretty crazy
Yeah, man.
that that's what happened. But
Yeah, God does things in a very beautiful way. We've definitely been we've been blessed, to have you, in our church and um to have you a part and just to see your growth as just a person. I mean, I've grown a lot too. We all grow, but I think because we do me and you do often talk, at the service, we have our little moments, we talk and to see like your thoughts and your growth and to see, my growth and see our growth as drummer and piano. Something's my eye. Drummer and piano. I've definitely benefited so much from playing with you. I think because I think we have similar. I maybe I'm wrong, but I think we have similar outlooks on music. I, Personally, I think we do. I think we have similar outlooks on music. I think we see music very very similarly. I
I
am
could
not. Yeah, what you saying?
just that to quickly intervene, I think that we have a similar aesthetically, we have a similar understanding of when to create more tension
Yeah, yeah,
versus when to create more peace
exactly.
within the music. When is the right time to just be adding little elements of tension? Let's put it
Yeah,
that way,
yeah.
whether it's like rhythmic stuff or harmonic stuff.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, just the overall like arcing thing of the music.
Yeah, and that's why I think like when you first came and I heard you play me, yo, this is like, it was like it's like so in sports, right? In sports, you have like a star player like who's playing well and they're just not being used well and they need to be in a certain
Mm.
space to bring out the best of them. I think playing with you, it definitely it confirmed my creativity, and it
Mm,
allowed me to really play drums the way I play drums. Like, I'm not a traditional, like, church drummer. Like, I really like, I grew up playing drums in church. Yeah, it's cool. But like how I play drums is not the way the rest of my family really plays drums. I am definitely um I'd say I mean I'd say I'm a Swiss Army knife drummer. I just like play whatever. And I feel like playing with you, seeing what we play every Sunday and different things we've played throughout the years, and just the connection that was built, and just what we play, man, it's just like what we play is so not, it's just different, maybe for you, you see different things than I do, so I'm not very well versed in things that I've seen around. But man, my experience with you, man, playing with you it's been a joy. It's definitely, it's, you ever seen that movie, like Ratatouille? Never.
I forget if I have. I
So
might have on like an airplane, but no, I don't remember.
So in the movie, so there's this mouse or rat who learns, rat who learns how to cook, and he's this and that. It's an animated movie, but he loves food, and I think a scene in the movies where he has um he's out in the woods with his brother. I think his name is Remy, something like that. And no, I'm bugging out. But moral story is he's trying to explain to his brother that like food is great, and because rats just eat anything, they eat whatever, they just eat whatever's in the ground. And
Mm,
he's telling his brother, yo, like, no, like, you gotta eat this with this, and then get that fruit and get that cheese and put it together. It's this beautiful thing. And that's what I think it's been with me playing with you, is that
mm,
I was finally able to not just play to play and play the way that I've been playing. And I knew I had this different nuance to my playing style, that, and it really, if it came out playing with you. Oh,
hmm
this makes sense as to why I play like this, because now, oh, this makes sense. Like my creativity and how I thought about drums made more sense playing with you, and that's where I brought up. It was why, like, bro, like, I was like, I'm not a like, honestly, like, playing in churches, but it's cool, but like I can't like do what I want to do. Like I can't really do like my creative things that are probably like like
mm,
chick related, or that are spanky related, or that are like jazzy or
mm,
fusion. I No one really wants that. Like, I can do that. Not in church, no. They don't really like, they want the
hmm
same, even in other contemporary churches, they do the same songs and they're great songs, but I'm not doing what we do on Sundays
mm.
there. I would love to, but it's not. So I've been blessed to be able to, I definitely think that my drumming journey is coming to not a close. I'm always play drums, but God is definitely bringing me to a different realm, in ministry, which is a blessing. And hey, drums may be there. I maybe play drums more, but I don't know. I'm blessed to have, had the years, what, 6 years, 7 years, 5 years with playing with you, I think.
With me,
You came
maybe
2018, right?
five.
2018, 2019, 2019.
I think 2019,
So five
like the
years.
end of 2019.
So basically,
Or-
yeah. So basically, around 4 or 5 years, 4 years.
Yeah,
So yeah, I've been blessed to have been able to, stretch my creative wings playing with you. So it's been a blessing.
I feel the same way as far as like the validation of um, one's own style. I mean, in my experience, I came into the whole thing, as a guest and being like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing this right, because I'm like learning about your culture,
Hmm.
and like there's a rich musical history and musical culture
Yeah.
to be learned, and I want to do my job as facilitating the service, doing it in a way that I'm not doing stuff that's out of place.
Yeah.
But one of the things I loved immediately since day one is that I would be like, "Is this okay to do this?" Like, and then you and Adam,
Hmm.
Pastor, would be like, you guys would tell me like,
Go ahead,
"Yeah,
do your thing.
just go, yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
go for it.
Exactly.
Don't worry." And in a way, as I'm over the years, I kept learning,
Hmm.
studying different organ players, whatever, like listening to a bunch of music and expanding my knowledge. But it's like the main thing was always about letting go, not worrying about what's the
Exactly.
right thing to do,
Yeah.
and by, you know, the cliche letting go and letting God, like by not worrying about what you're doing, you're actually doing the right thing. You end up
Yeah, I like that.
giving into the moment and doing something that actually has to do with the whole without your own ego um, intervening and being like, oh, let me do
Mm.
this
Yeah,
from
yeah.
a cerebral place.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
So rather than that, so yeah, so musically, that taught me so much about playing music and just how to be in general, like what to aspire to do, which is
Mhm.
that simplicity we're talking about, which is not to be um overthinking things. It's so easy for me to overanalyze, overthink.
Same,
So
same, bro, trust me, I'm in that same boat. That's why I go to therapy because I need to sift my
so
thoughts
maybe
out.
that's why we gel well together musically
Mhm.
too, because but I don't know, I always felt, at least from playing with you, that everything came naturally to you when you're at the drums.
Oh, yeah.
At least that's what it sounds like, because you
Yeah.
have like some of the most solid, just like flows. Like there's never any um, what's the word? Like lulls in the or spaces where it falls apart. Like it just flows perfectly, in my perspective.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, I think I always had a pride about me about that. Like I want to just flow. Like I want to be a flow drummer. Like I just want to flow, man. I'm not trying to do all this other stuff. Like I just want to flow. Like that does it feel good or does it sound good? Like that's all I care about. So yeah, and I think maybe I'm wrong, but I'll ask you. Like I feel like my style of drumming is not really popular. Like maybe or maybe it's just me. Maybe I haven't gotten out there enough. But yeah, I don't know. I just love flow. Like posting like chops is cool. I don't really love it. I do it because I try to do it, but I rather just lay down on groove and just have fun and just vibe out in a band. Is like that's my form of like having fun. Like doing chops and all that stuff is one. I'm not that good at it anyway, in my opinion. But secondly, is like, I just that's not really my style. Like, I'm like I'm more of a lay the vibe down, make it feel good, add my own little spice to it, and keep it going. Like, and
I mean, I
that's
think
my
that is the epitome of popular, or like something that's communicative or easily digestible
yeah.
for the non-musician. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of like pizzazz or whatever when there's a lot of chops going on,
Mhm.
but yeah, to me, like that's music at its best when it's not overly complicated.
Yeah. So, bro, walk me through your musical journey. Why music? Like, why piano? Go from that, then go to Berkeley, then go to now. Like, give me those three phases of the timeline.
Well, my dad is a musician. I
Mhm.
always looked up to my dad, so I would say that would be the starting point. I grew up with a lot of music around the house, um, listening to my dad's original music. I was like, this is some of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. Um, Plus the music that he showed me growing up, which a lot of it was American, um, and classical and R&B type stuff, and you know, a lot of different things. So I was like, yeah, that that feels so good. I want to do that. So I went to conservatory, played classical music for years, and then went to a jazz concert one day when I was 13 or 14, and I was like, ooh, this looks really cool. Let me get into that. Then went to jazz school, like high school, but then I left it, and then I went to this other school, which later I was able to transfer credits and then do 2 years at Berkeley and finish Berkeley with those credits. And then I moved to New York. Um, that's that. As far as why music, to me, music is like um, maybe the purest way of um, existing or something. When well, it's so beautiful to me. That's one thing. Like as a personal, just in my own personal experience, when I'm alone, I can listen to something and eh, I just love the sound. Then I just and I love the emotions that it makes me feel. Then, of course, music is related to culture, so it's a gateway into the physical world and everything that's going on. Like, throughout history, no music is ever unrelated to the culture that's going on. So it's just an amazing way to learn about the world and about different cultures is through the music that
Yeah.
each culture brought up. Um, and then, there's so much beauty in there. There's so much community, fellowship. You see it breaking barriers of cultures. So many people from different cultures that don't speak the same language can really feel the same thing and move all of a sudden in the same way just that based on those frequencies, based on those waves. So it's magic. I don't know. It's fascinating. That's it.
It is. Music to me, it takes me to a different like dimension. Like it's like a separate world. Like when you listen to music, I mean, I'm in a whole different like place. And drums for me is like freeing. Like when I'm just playing drums, like with you on Sunday mornings or whenever I'm playing this to myself, like it's a freeing thing. To just get lost in the craft of it, get lost in little small things that matter, but don't matter at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, music is it's so dope. I mean, I've been blessed with being able to play drums and sing. So I mean, singing for me is definitely something that I do more often now. Right at Saint Church on Fridays, something that I do almost every week now. I lead worship and something I never thought I would do. But I do always love singing. I always love to sing. That's something I always did as a kid until now. So, but yeah, I think music is such a huge blessing to communities, to culture, to the church, to people in general. I feel like there's not one person that doesn't like music. I don't think people may not like certain food, certain sports, certain people, but I'm almost positive every person in the world likes some form of music or tune or musical design. You know what I'm saying? So I think music
Mm.
is the ultimate. Um, what's the word? Is the ultimate bridging of the gap, you know what I'm saying? I think in the
Mm-hmm.
world, it's
Hmm.
music is just it's universal. It bridges everything you needed to bridge. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, music
Yeah.
is it's a very it's probably to me one of the if not the most like unifying forces in the whole world is music. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's dope.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, maybe also food. I mean, there's a
Food,
couple
yes.
of other things, maybe.
True.
I'm trying to
True.
think. Um, but yeah, music is something else because also, like, food has its function. It's supposed to
That's
nurture
true.
you. You can't survive without it. Actually, that's a question. Can you survive without music? I don't know if I would be able to.
So question, look, so would you rather live without TV and like movies or anything TV related or music?
I mean, I don't even like TV. I don't like when I walk into people's homes if they have a TV, to me it's like I don't even want to see like that
Mm.
screen. Yeah, I don't like screens. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
look
get
at
it.
I
Yeah.
look at my screens too, but
Mhm.
yeah, I would definitely pick music, any day over TV. If TV didn't exist, I would be totally cool.
Yeah.
There's enough to learn, especially when you live in New York. That's like real life is even crazier than anything you can see on TV. So
Exactly. I think who it's tough. Personally, I don't watch many TV shows. I don't have cable. That's one. I don't pay for cable. Cause you know me, I'm a big anime guy, so all my anime's on apps. I watch anime on apps. I watch Netflix. I watch Walking Dead. That's what I'm watching the past couple months. But I don't really watch TV anyway in general. Um, I think if you ask me what I could live like right now, like give me a couple days, what like for a week, right? Give up TV or music. Honestly, I'd give up TV because I don't watch it a lot. Like or even shows. I watch shows here and there, but I don't really watch stuff. I mean, YouTube, yes, YouTube is. I watch that every day a lot. So if that counts, that's a tough one. Like YouTube or music, that's tough,
I
but
mean,
that's a tough one
as
for me.
part of just as part of trying to live a better, more focused life towards my goals and stuff, I've been trying to not watch YouTube as much,
Yeah,
and I downloaded this thing, like a widget. Is it called a widget or something
yeah,
in
on your
Google
phone, right?
Chrome?
Oh, okay, okay,
So
my bad.
no, on the I guess it has a different name, but it just blocks your recommended stuff on YouTube. So when I go on YouTube.com, it just shows me a blank screen.
Wow,
So
just
then
stuff.
I'm not constantly like, oh, there's all these things that I'm missing out on. Then I immediately start opening tabs and
Hmm.
then wasting hours just watching stuff that I didn't, intend to watch. So
Yeah,
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 because
yeah.
YouTube can be addicting.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's definitely by far my main form of entertainment. Like, cause I watch a lot of podcasts too. So I watch a lot of podcasts. I post my podcast on YouTube. So I'm definitely on there a lot. A lot of it is just again, it's really podcasts and just anime stuff. For like, I don't really watch. I mean, I don't really watch like stuff that's just stupid. I guess but I'm on
Yeah.
podcasts. I listen to things. I watch people's sermons. Saying worship sets that I watch and learn from and listen to. So I use it for educational things too. But it's definitely my main form um of entertainment basically besides just I don't know, playing games here and there, which I don't play a lot of games anymore either because I'm too busy to play games. So um tell me so what do you think are the three most important things in playing piano? Like your top three most important aspects or things in playing piano, in your opinion? Tough one.
Well, it depends what your goal is. If your goal is to connect with other people by making them feel things or influencing, maybe opening up that portal that we were talking about and making them experience life.
Wait, look. So look, I'll ask it differently. Look, if someone asks you, Eitan, yo, like, what are three things that I need to be a great piano player? Just three things, just generic three things. What if it's me? Yo, Eitan, I'm trying to get piano. I'm trying to play piano. What are three things I need to do or learn or get with or understand concept? What are three things, main thing, three umbrella things that I can like I need that in my bag to at least be a good piano player.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There is you want to learn to speak a language. I would say there's a lot of different languages in piano and in music, but they all pretty much at the end of the day come from just the structure of the piano, just the way it's laid out. Um, there's like math involved too, the ways to analyze it, but just because of the structure of the instrument, you know, how the scales work and stuff. So, in other words, learn your scales and chords. That's just an inevitable part of the music that you can produce because it's
Yeah,
built
yeah.
into the instrument. So that would be one thing is learn your language, learn your basic chords. basic structures.
Mhm.
Um, I would say the second thing would be the intention with which you play, because that really influences um, the music that you play. That would It can really take from, oh, it's just somebody playing some notes, but I'm not feeling anything,
Mm.
into someone's playing a few notes and you're like, wow, like it makes me want to cry.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, that's dope. Yeah.
it's really about the intention of the musician.
Mhm.
And I would say the intention comes from being very aware of how you feel. So, not what you think you should do, but how you're feeling in the present moment. Um, and that has to do with some awareness of your internal world. So, how you feel in your body, if there's any tension there, just with some attention on that, it would make you play things that would influence the listener in ways that won't happen if it's all very cerebral, if it just comes from your head. So, awareness of your body and awareness of the room you're in, the piano you're playing, those sort of things. So, I don't know if that's like the second thing of the three or if that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all the three, but
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, okay, okay, I know I'm going to do this. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
learning the language,
Okay.
awareness of one's own emotions,
Mhm.
and being in tune with the moment and not trying to just like pull something from your memory or
Mm.
doing what you think is right. That's two. And three would be awareness for melody. So, rhythm is something that also comes from feeling,
Yeah.
because when you pay attention to how you feel, your body might move in a certain way, and that might lead you to generate a rhythm or latch onto another rhythm that somebody else is playing. So it's like with you, as soon as you start playing, I start feeling something and my body moves in a certain way. But if I were alone, I would try to do that myself. But a sense of melody is something that I don't know exactly how to break it down, but I will say that when you sing while you play, so in other words, when you have a sense of melody that guides you, everything that you play will make sense. And it's going to make it, there's going to be a story to what you're doing versus just you're playing some random notes and
Oh, for sure.
you don't know
Exactly. Yeah,
where it
yeah.
started and where it's going.
Yeah.
When you sing with it, your instincts take over, and then you're able to be like, okay, I want to go low. This felt, I feel like I felt like a high note, and now I want to go low. I played loud, and now I want to go soft. These things all of a sudden start coming to you
Mhm.
instinctually. So yeah, that's a long answer, but I found my answer. I guess those are the three things.
No, that's dope, and I think, I think you said 2 things that are kinda, universal for every person who plays music is being intentional and being aware. I think that's something that can be applied to anything in life. Anything in life. Are you being intentional, and are you just using your awareness? You know what I'm saying? Whether it's in your career, in a field that you love, or in music, music is literally basically being intentional and being aware. That's literally what music is. And I agree. I think, even as a drummer, I think I pride myself on being intentional, like doing this for a reason, and just make sure that I'm, and I think also
Is
being,
your reason?
mhm.
I have to ask. Is your reason um, facilitating other people's ability to worship? Is it something like that? Like, is that the role that you're filling as a minstrel, minstrel of music? Is that? What's
Yeah,
the purpose?
for for me playing drums in church, you're saying?
Well, is there a difference between church and other situations?
No, it's not. I mean, I think from my perspective, from a Christian's view of it, right? I think, my the gifts that I have, what I'm saying, are always used for the glory of God. Whether it's in church, whether it's at a separate venue, whether it's playing with you at the hotel, Roxy Hotel, like people, oh, you play well, thank you. Like God is good. Like it's all about expressing, because other than it's all a gift from God. It's all God's gift to us to do these things. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like really in church, I'm very honestly, in any arena, any air wherever I play, it's what does the music need? What does the music need, and what is the atmosphere calling for? That's my main thing.
Okay, so let me
Yeah,
ask you this
yeah.
because I always try to draw um the correlation between playing music and just living.
Okay.
I Throughout my life, I always find that it's pretty much the same thing. Like it's not really there isn't really much of a difference. I mean, yeah, maybe the activity is like I'm moving my fingers, but it's about communication and it's about at the end of the day it's about the same thing or the type of focus that I try to have like right now when we're having this conversation is a similar
Mhm.
kind of focus. And like you said, awareness and intention, those are those are like the biggest components. Is there anything else that you would say as far as like how to conduct oneself in the world? First of all, do you agree that playing music has the same purpose as just living?
The same purpose to living.
Or you
Yes and
as
no. I
okay,
think yes and no. I don't think it's a no. I think there's layers to it. So for me, right, I'm a Christian, right? The purpose of my life is to share the gospel of Christ, that he died on the cross on Friday and rose again on Sunday. And that's in expressing that and help people grow in that way is, that's the purpose of my life, and to influence others and to, yes, enjoy life and have fun. And yeah, that's all part of it. But the crux and the crevice and the core of why I'm on this earth as a Christian is to, like, you know, there's this man that died on the cross for you, who loves you, wants to be with you, and wants to give you all that you need. That's that man named Jesus. That's why. That's the purpose. Now, there's different so now drumming can be involved in that. You know what I'm saying? Like that can be involved in that. I can. Someone can ask you, I can play so well at this venue somewhere in the city. You play so well. Like, where'd you grow up playing? Like, da da. Grew up in church playing drums in church. This is a gift God given me. That the gift can lead to the purpose. Like it can. The gift is a part of the purpose, but like my purpose isn't solely like in life is like drums and music. So I think even I preached on a Friday night.
sure.
I preached like, well, the sermon was face your purpose, right? And I think in the past I've heard and people have said, well, like doing things isn't a purpose. Like this podcast, like just doing it and going through the motions and having the camera and talking, saying words, that itself isn't the purpose. The purpose
Right.
is honing what's inside of me and being my most authentic self. And that for me is living for Christ, growing as a person, and that's the purpose of it. And then just in fact that a part of that involves the podcast. It involves drums. It involves, so what I'm saying. I don't know
Yes.
if that makes sense. So I
Yeah,
think my
definitely.
purpose, yeah, my
I think
purpose
that's what
isn't.
I meant.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
So what I meant is playing music is just an aspect of living
It's an
and your
avenue.
purpose in life avenue. And your purpose in life is well what you just said.
Yeah.
You know how to say it better than me, but
Mhm.
it is the same purpose, isn't it? To and I'll maybe I'll give the perspective in using other words, but it
Mhm.
might be the same thing. It's like bringing people together, um, making people feel that they're making people feel love, um, making people feel making oneself and everybody else become one with love or God
Mhm.
or Christ. Isn't that isn't that it? I mean, you said a bunch of other words,
Yeah.
but isn't that really the same thing? Like on this earth, we are a manifestation of God,
Mhm.
and we help me.
So, yeah, I mean,
This
I
is
yeah, yeah.
you see what I'm saying? I'm trying to say what you're saying, but
Yeah,
in a more
I think it I mean, I think it's
secular
def
way, maybe.
no, I don't think it's secular.
Maybe
I
it's not
think
secular,
yeah,
but
yeah,
more global. I don't.
I don't
Maybe
think
not.
it's
Maybe not. It's
yeah,
all
no,
the same.
I think you're right. You're right on it. I agree. I mean, I mean, again, um, yeah, as Christians, we, or people in general. I mean, again, when I say Christian, I mean my belief is that we should all be trying to live, what I'm saying, for Christ and for the by the word. But I think it's all in the same. No, it's funny, bro. Like I was someone commented on something I saw in some post, and like the Bible is literally just like just it's really just about like giving us like instructions on how life should go, basically, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like and how to yeah, and it's simple how to live, like and like how to do things the right way, how to handle money, how to like like it's all these things that it brings. And I think yeah, I mean personally, in my opinion, bro, in most cases there should never be a separation of natural or spiritual. I feel like it's the same thing. Obviously, in some ways, it's different for sure, but I think we're saying the same things. We're saying the exact same thing. I think the purpose in life is to show to use our gifts to show you know ourselves and to use our purpose and to and to influence others and to love people. That's what purpose is, and that's what everyone's purpose kind of is. I mean, it's to grow as a person, right? Influence others, right? Be an example of some sort to any person. This is life, not Christianity. This is anything in life, right? Be examples to other people about of upholding good morals and good standards and doing all this stuff, like
Mm.
and and it just so happens that our gifts represent that stuff as well. You know what I'm saying?
And it goes hand in hand with what we learn from the Bible.
Exactly.
It's like our purpose is to show other people that there's a way beyond believing your own worries and self-doubt,
Exactly. Yeah, and it's a
which is
mhm.
and so many times say through music or through preaching, you hit people right there. Like you take them
Yeah, yeah.
with you to all of a sudden they lose themselves in that moment and they forget about their worries, and then they are able to hopefully take some of that to their regular life
Yeah.
after that moment is gone.
Yeah,
And
and
if
that's
not,
mhm.
then that's where they start learning what faith is, like when it doesn't feel they're not necessarily in that moment of like oneness and love,
Mhm.
they're still able to remember the truth.
So
We're back.
bro, where take me through your spiritual journey. Like, like where are you spiritually? Like
I was
what
waiting
like,
for okay, I was waiting for that
yeah,
because now
yeah.
that's the hard questions, the
Yeah. I love
the
this stuff.
biographical information.
Yeah.
That's that. Even though I actually learned a lot from even just saying the biographical things, but
Mhm.
the spiritual journey. So it's been it's been wild. It's been absolutely wild. Um, I'm actually gonna go on record and say this. So when I was, as a kid, life wasn't too easy, but I didn't overthink it too much. Um, Around the age of 15, 16, my parents started getting into some spiritual things. Um, because I grew up in a total secular home. So we never mentioned God, like there was no God. You know what I mean? It was just
Yeah, yeah.
very much taking things as they are, very much a reactive sort of way of living into whatever the environment is presenting. You can either choose to engage or disengage, and you you believe your own thoughts, um, however crazy they can be. Um, but it's just you on your own, no God. So then,
Mhm.
around the same time, me and my parents, around the same time, we started opening up to some other possibilities because I think everybody sooner or later realizes, like, there's more beyond me in this world.